Sisters in Service. Welcome to another episode. I am your host, Kat Corchado, and today we are speaking to Bruce Thompson, who is a VP at Vets2Industry, and he will explain a little bit more about that. Hello, Bruce. How are you? Welcome to Sisters in Service.
Hey, Kat. I'm doing awesome. It's another beautiful day out here doing what I can to assist our transitioning service members, veterans, military spouses, and everybody part of that military family. And it is a pleasure to be on, and I thank you for the invitation.
Well, you're so welcome. For those of you that don't know, I met Bruce on Clubhouse, and I was so intrigued by what Vets2Industry was doing and how they're helping not only those men and women coming out of the military, but those that have already been out, helping those veterans, but also helping those military spouses, that I said, I've got to have him on Sisters in Service. So Bruce, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about your service. What branch? How long do you serve?
Well, I am a retired Marine. I served for just shy of 24 years. I'll date myself. I came in 92. I retired in 16. I'm just hitting my 5-year mark retired. I have no idea where that time went, but it's kind of that typical thing. I was in the Marine Corps. I started out as motor transport. I moved into a maintenance management role. Then I did communication electronics, and like all things in the Marine Corps, we grow where planted. I've got plenty of assignments that had nothing to do with what my job was, but that's where I was sent. So, you do what you are asked to do. You find out all the different aspects of military service, and it really made me, that complete Marine with understanding of all the different MOSs, the different things that different individuals did, different organizations. And I was a West Coaster. I spent most of my time in Southern California.
Oh, lucky man. How
horrible.
Did you get that?
Well, first off, I'll tell you that 29 Palms, California, and Yuma, Arizona are considered West Coast, Southern California.
Mm.
So if you've ever been there, you won't say I was that lucky. But I did get some time in Long Beach and Camp Pendleton, and it was just a completely awesome experience. And like everybody always tells you when you say, how long are you staying in service? You'll know when it's your time.
Right.
So, my body definitely, gave me that wake up call of, hey, it's your time. It's time to go. So I transitioned, and while I transitioned, I had some of those really nice, high paying jobs, but it was missing something. It wasn't fulfilling. I didn't have that sense of accomplishment and belonging. And so after, a year of being out and kind of doing the struggle of finding who I was and what I really had that passion for, it finally kind of clicked and dawned on me that I wanted to continue to helping, my brothers and sisters. How could I assist them to transition smoother than I did? How was it, we could help them figure out who they were before making that leap.
Right.
And I've been lucky enough to connect with the Vets2Industry veteran nonprofit, Brian Arrington, who's the president and founder. I think I mentored him on Veterati, and then like not six,
funny how that happens, right?
6 to 9 months later, all I see is Brian Arrington and Vets2Industry all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I signed up to be a mentor or mentee of his on Veterati.
Mm-hmm.
And that conversation started with, him like, man, I've been trying to figure out a way to ask you to be part of the V2I team.
Right.
And my reply was, hey, this phone call was about how I could become part of the V2I team.
So the timing was right again.
We had that quick high five, and we get down to business of, what we could do, how we could do it. And I kind of worked as, hey, I'm part of the team, and I was kind of floating between different departments and doing what I could to help everywhere. Then I was asked to
Mhm.
be the director of operations. And then as our former VP moved on to another opportunity, it was kind of a natural fit for me to move up into that spot.
Mhm.
And now you have those polar opposites. You got Brian Arrington, who's a Air Force veteran,
Oh
retired
yeah, polar
veteran,
opposites.
and then you got the Marine over here, on the other side, like hey yo, like
And somehow it works.
well,
Somehow it works.
it brings balance. It's all about that balance.
Yes. Well, I can't tell you, I mean, me personally, I haven't met a lot of retired Marines, So I mean, you're kind of like a unicorn, in being retired. But let me backtrack a little bit to your transition. Was your transition did you think it was easy or was it not easy? And if it wasn't easy, why did you think it was difficult then? But why do you also think it's difficult now?
So I would say my transition was kind of in the middle of the pack. It wasn't difficult, but it wasn't great either. Um, and you know, I was one of those ones. I had so many VA issues that we're dealing with, and surgeries leading up where I thought I'd be on terminal leave. Instead I was on convalescent leave from surgery, and I was extremely passive. Like I wasn't really out there searching for a job because I was more taking care of my medical.
Right.
I had one of those military headhunters call me up, say, "Hey, we got the perfect job for you," and I was like, "Email me the vacancy announcement, and I'll check it out." I checked it out. It read like my fitness reports, like everything I've been doing for 20 plus years. It
Mm-hmm.
was 8 miles from the house. It was six figures, management level.
Perfect.
You're
It's
like,
perfect.
sure, I'll go have this interview. Had the interview, uh, just bonded really well with the factory manager, and a couple days later, I was at the factory doing my on site, and oh my goodness, talk about a 9 hour interview process where I think I was interviewed by every single person in the building. You're talking like from heck, I might have been interviewed by the janitor all the way up to the factory manager and everybody in between.
Everybody involved. Like, hey,
and,
come check this guy out. Ask him some
know,
questions.
and then I thought I was like, hey, we're good. I can get out of here and beat traffic, back to the house. And they're like, hey, the assistant factory manager's up in San Jose, but she's got time for a call. Can you hop on with her? I'm like, well, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, right.
So you hop on, you have that call. Then a couple of days later, you get that phone call of, hey, congratulations, we want to offer you the position. And I'm like, hey, great. The first time I went on a job interview where I was actually eligible to say yes,
Right.
I got it.
Which doesn't happen a lot, just saying.
No. Again, being passive in the transition process is not recommended.
Especially right now.
And again, going out for that first real interview, and I was on some other interviews, but I wasn't really eligible to say yes.
Right.
So this was like that first one where I could actually say yes and get started. And the company was really good. I can't say anything bad about them, but it was not the fit for me. I didn't want to be in manufacturing. I didn't want to do what I did while I was in service, as far as electronics repair, electronics building.
Right.
And so me not knowing what I really wanted to do post service was an issue for me. Me not knowing what my values were, as far as I really took the shot for money. Six figures coming out of service was like great. I was a mass sergeant in Southern California, so between my military pay and compensation, I basically found something that was equal to it.
But don't you think though that most coming out of the military do that because they could take a sigh of relief because, okay, I've got some money coming in, and then it's after the fact that they say, wait a minute, this isn't exactly what I wanted, but it's paying the bills.
Yes, and that's one of those hard decisions that we have to make while we transition is, especially those of us who want to be career changers, that we don't want to do the same thing that we did while we're in service.
Right.
We'll usually take that job doing something that we did in service because it pays the bills.
Right.
And then, we'll stay with that until we kind of figure out how we can make that change and still be able to pay the bills.
So you're buying time. You're buying time so you can kind of figure it out.
Time. You're kind of figuring out how you fit into this new world of not being within the military. And I'll tell you, I don't care if you served one contract and you left after 4, or you've been in for 30 plus years. There is a institutional kind of development of us. We're brought in. We go through boot camp, basic training, officer candidate. We go through these schools, and they train us how to be military members. And depending on which branch, it's a little further for one branch to the other.
Yes.
But you get into that mindset, and I'll be honest, we're really kind of sheltered. We make sure we have the paychecks coming in. We don't have to worry about the next paycheck.
Right.
We have the housing allowance that make sure that we have a roof over our head.
And a lot of our friends are military while we're in the military.
Right.
And
you're just, because you're on the bases, that's where you are.
Exactly.
We don't have that, outside the gate friendships, where we have those who aren't military connected. And again, this is a majority. There's always the exceptions. But it kind of puts us in our own world. And then all of a sudden, like I said, whether it's 4 years or 30 plus years, it's kind of that, who am I without the uniform?
Right. And your identity. Who are you now? Do you think that transition is harder today? And if so, why?
I think it's a dual edge we'll go with. So because of COVID and the restrictions and not being able to go out to in-person events, a lot of things being virtual, it takes away some of that networking opportunities, which I'll tell you, if you're not networking, you're not trying to find employment. Networking, and network some more is how you become successful in the transition.
So all you introverts out there, you have to be an extrovert to network and get that job that you're looking for.
And I'll tell you, believe it or not, I am more of an introvert than I am an extrovert. I've just become very comfortable understanding the role. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, after a full day's work, I have nothing left in my gas tank. I've given it all out and given it all away.
Yes.
To those that I interact and work with. And, hopefully I can recharge the batteries. And one of the great things that I'm able to do with Vets2Industry and some of the other organizations I'm a part of is I get to fill that emotional tank.
Yes.
I'm out there knowing that I'm making a difference, and I'm helping others, find their whys, to find that employment, to get into that training, to help celebrate their accomplishments. And so that is my win when I'm able to do that. And I see people, kind of the light bulb pops on, and we make these connections and we get them in front of hiring managers. And I get hey, Bruce, I got the job. I love getting those LinkedIn messages. That's why I do what I do.
Right.
I tell you, I'm a volunteer. I don't get paid. I don't get paid in money. I get paid in emotional happiness.
Right.
And for me, that's more valuable than getting a paycheck.
It fills up that emotional tank that what you're doing is validated. People reach out to you and they say, thank you so much. And you're like, okay, I was meant to be doing this.
And I'll tell you, I'm one of those military retirees. We had a plan. The plan was to be kid-free, debt-free before I retired. So all the kids out of the house, the bills taken care of, and we accomplished that. And then we relocated from San Diego to Jacksonville, Florida, where there's a 40% drop in cost of living.
Yes.
So these were planned events, planned moves that would help us with our financial freedom, which as a retiree, as a 100% permanent total disabled veteran, allows me to do this freedom.
Yeah.
And like I said, my beautiful wife, Neela, she does so many things in the military veteran community herself, and she works with Veterans Ascend. So I might not be bringing the paycheck, but she is.
So hey, that works out.
It gives me that freedom. And one of the great part is that we work in different organizations, but
you're still helping veterans. Yeah. Let's speak a little bit about Vets2Industry. For the listeners, explain what Vets2Industry is.
So Vets2Industry, we are a veteran nonprofit. What we do, if you go to our website, Vets2Industry.com, you can learn all about us. And what you'll see is it's people first, veterans and their families always. We are a people organization. We started out as our founder, Brian Arrington, as he was transitioning out, told, hey, there's 40,000 plus military and veteran nonprofits out there, all these resources. And he said, great. How do I find them? What's the website? Give me the link. And he kind of got that laughed at. It doesn't exist. No one knows where all these things are. We just know they're out there.
Right.
Where's there?
Where's there?
And when the answer was kind of like, no one knows, he said, all right. And in true Brian Arrington words, hold my rippet. And so he unofficially created Vets2Industry that day by going out and saying, if no one else is going to do it, damn it, I'll do it. And to his credit, he's built an idea into a great organization. We've been around for about 2 years now. We do everything for free. We do not charge anyone to attend our events, to get to our resource library, to reach out to us. And it's all about the community. How can we help? Our two hashtags are, how can I help, and pay it forward. We are all about making the transition process smoother and easier for others to come through than it was for us. And again, we're talking about your initial transition from military to post-military service. We're talking about the veterans that, let's be honest, this last year of COVID, so many veterans who thought they were in great locations and great spots found themselves laid off or
looking
without employment. And we're like, hey, you're in transition. We help those in transition. Military spouses, veteran spouses. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
This is that underappreciated, the underemployed, unemployed group. And it's because they PCS and they have this immense talent, but you start looking at their resumes and it's like, oh, well, we saw you work for a couple of years, then you had like a year date gap, and then you worked for a year and a half, and then you kept moving. And so it looked like they're, why can't you keep a job?
Why can't you keep? Yeah, exactly.
And so you kind of get that, then you kind of get that, hey, I have to reset every single time. So I'm not able to grow with an organization, which means I keep taking, positions below my level of education and experience.
Right.
And, we're working with them now. And I'll tell you, this past year, COVID has been a horrible thing for the country, the world, but it has forced so many people to go virtual and remote, which is a huge thing for military spouses. The jobs travel with them.
Yes.
You no longer have to leave a position because they went from California to Kansas or wherever they happen to go. So this has been a wonderful opportunity for us to really push out those virtual remote positions and get not only the spouses community, but the transitioning veterans, the older veterans that, hey, look, you can do amazing things from your computer.
Right. You don't have to be in the office.
Right.
I mean, you can if you want to, but It's not one of those things that you have to do. And
And
I think that's really important. I think one of the things that I found very true many years ago, because it happened to me, is resume is great. I think you have to be qualified to do the job. Okay, let me just say that. But I also feel that it's who do you know? You know what I mean? Like if I know you and I need a job and you, Bruce, say, I know exactly who you need to speak to and I get the job or at least get an invite, that's huge.
but we say if you apply online, and that's all you do is submit your application online, we say you have a 6% chance of getting a interview.
That's sad.
Imagine that. 6% chance of getting an interview. That's
Those pitiful. That is
odds right
so
there,
bad.
Those odds right there are soul crushing.
Yes.
Now, the trick is, and why, even though everybody might get frustrated with hearing the word networking 1,000 times, is if you're networking and you get someone from your network to refer you to the people making those decisions, it jumps to 85% or higher chance of getting that interview. And like I tell you, I have a great network. My network is not for me. It's for those that I work with, because it's all about helping you connect to the right people so you can get into those positions. And I can't guarantee you a job, but I can really help you get that interview.
Right.
But at that interview, you have to win the day.
Yes, you
have
do.
to be able to talk about your experiences. You got about the need to that position, to that team. But being able to get that interview without sending out 500 applications, and regularly being able to do it is a huge boost, a whole huge lift. And oh, by the way, don't worry, we've got all kinds of resources and individuals that will help you prep for that interview.
That's awesome.
We're going to help you from the breaking the ice, comment all the way through. These are some great questions to ask. We're here, and one of the slogans, if you go to it, Vets2Industry provides knowledge, connections, opportunities, and more importantly, hope.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, if you haven't gone through the transition or you had one of those really smooth transitions, you might not have it. But we've had people that are struggling for 12, 18 months to find that employment. They've lost hope. We're going back and grabbing them. And when you lose hope, you start getting into that statistical area of, will you be one of the 22? And we're working to help you get employment so you don't come homeless, helping you find employment so you don't lose hope. We have been in service, and the being unemployed is something we don't even consider being an option for us.
Right.
So when you struggle to find, a meaningful career, and there's plenty of jobs out there you can have, but we focus on meaningful careers. We want you to have something where you can grow and be a part of something larger than yourself. We want you to be able to go to work, love what you're doing, and be able to say, look, I accomplished this today. Or to reduce the number of military and veteran suicides. Oh my goodness, talk about just the ultimate, accomplishment.
Right.
This is how we are to help. One of the best things I'll tell you, Vets2Industry is not in competition with anyone else. If there's a great person or organization out there, we want them in our resource library.
Right.
I will tell you, I post things all day on my Facebook account, on LinkedIn. I am promoting, everybody I can that's doing great things. So yes, I'm Vets2Industry. I love it. I have no intentions of leaving this, anytime soon. It's a family.
Well, you guys are doing such a great job. And, there are a lot of great organizations. I think you had mentioned one was Veterati, but there's so many organizations out there. Why is it, do you think, that some of these organizations aren't being listed or somehow presented during the TAPS program in the military?
Well, again, I taught the Department of Labor 3-day employment workshop for 2.5 years. It is a federal contract. So, one, most people have no idea about all the different resources that are out there. Two, when I taught, and I knew a lot of resources, no one knows them all, but I knew a lot of them. I couldn't bring them in to speak. I couldn't, do the slideshow or any of that because the contract said, if I did that, I wouldn't be teaching anymore. So it's very strict on what they can and can't do. And this is where the transition workshop is misunderstood. That mandatory workshops that you have to go through, they are like college level 100 classes. Hey, we're gonna come out here and tell you all these wonderful things,
and you're gonna nod your head. And then when it's time to ask questions, no questions. Then you leave.
And so here's all these great information of things that you need to learn more about to be able to understand. And then that level 200 classes is going to the workshops offered by the Fleet and Family Support Center, the Family Readiness Center for the Air Force, Personal Professional Development for the Marine Corps, Soldier for Life with the Army. And you go to those group classes, and that's like 200. And then you go to level 300, which is the one-on-one counseling with those that are on base. And again, I will tell you, not all facilitators are the same. Not all transition assistant bases are the same.
Don't you think they should be, though? I mean, across the board, you would think they'd be regulated. I don't like that word regulated, but it should be something that helps the military veteran to give them some sort of idea of what it's going to be like after they wear the uniform. And
with that, they have very, very similar, if not the exact same, billet description, job vacancy announcement listing. But there's a difference when you have someone who is full of passion and is doing it because they love to do it, by someone who's doing it because they need some money coming in. And I have nothing against anyone. We've all been there. We'll all get there. But this is why I left, because I was restricted from what I could say, what I could present. And so I left there, but never stopped. I just took it to different forms.
You just do it the way you want to do it and how it actually really helps people.
Right. And I've taken advantage of the technology that's available. I'll tell you, I've been a part of amazing organizations, and I'll tell you, the ones that I've left, it's nothing against them. It's the fact that the next opportunity that allowed me to do more came around.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I don't think that anyone's doing more than Vets2Industry right now. For where we've accomplished and where we've gotten within 2 years is, we don't know how it happened. We just hit the right timing and everything clicked for us. And again, I tell you, if you're doing the right things for the right reasons, things work out.
They do. And I think that, Vets2Industry has such a presence on LinkedIn. If you're a veteran and you don't know who Bruce is and you don't know who Vets2Industry is, you better look at it, because it's really huge. Bruce, tell us a little bit about the events that Vets2Industry holds.
So we were getting ready to start doing in-person events, March of 2020. We all know what happened March of 2020. So our in-person events quickly got shut down because of COVID. And so we said, well, let's try this online thing. And so early April, we had our first virtual networking circuit event. And we had a little over 100 people show up. They've taken off. And like I said, we hit the right timing with COVID and everything having to go virtual. And we were there at the jump. So
timing's everything.
It's everything. And so what we do is every 3 weeks, we hold a virtual networking event. We have our traditionals, which is, I'm about to scare everybody, It's a 5-hour virtual networking event on a Saturday. And as I scared everybody with that one, they're hop on, hop off, hop back on as you go. I've got people's like 5 hours. I'm like, just try it out. Stick around for that first breakout session, which will be about an hour and a half from all of our keynote speakers, acknowledging of all the employers that are there, so you know who's showing up. And once you get into this breakout session, you'll be hooked.
Can I just stop you there for a second? Okay, so Bruce invited me to one of these events. Okay, and I looked at the time and I was like, oh boy. And when I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there. Okay. And I thought, okay, it's going to be one of these networking things. Okay, fine, whatever. I stayed for almost all of it. It was so unique and so much fun. It was just unbelievable. People, who were still in service, but getting ready to transition, or they're in the transition. There were companies there that say, hey, I might not have something for you, but I know somebody who does. It was amazing to see that. So if you guys are on the fence about 5 hours, no, go, just do it. I stayed on so much longer than I expected because I was having such a good time. Okay. Sorry, Bruce. Okay. Keep going.
No problem. And like I tell everybody, I can't really explain it. It's something you have to experience. But what we do is we bring together military service members. And when I say military service members, I mean active duty, Guard, Reserve. We're talking about the Coast Guard, Space Force, Army,
all
Navy.
Of it.
We don't exclude anyone. And we talk about military spouses. We mean military and veteran spouses. We are all inclusive in that group, together with recruiters that are looking to hire. We bring them in with veteran advocates like myself that are looking to figure out how can we help. We bring in service providers. If they're a service provider,
there.
We're like, come on in. We want you to tell people about the resources and the things that you're doing.
Right.
We have, people that have never served that just want to pay it forward, that want to be part of something. And when you put all these individuals together, it's
magic.
You can't really say it. I mean, it all clicks. And
it does.
When you bring all these individuals together, it just makes for just a wow conversation, a wow event.
And it wasn't stuffy. It was very easygoing. And
no,
people were joking with it. I mean, there was one guy, he was, I think, modeling all the different shirts and stuff, and they were making fun of him. And I mean, it was just all in good fun, but it was just really enjoyable. I just really had a good time with it.
It's just to kind of give you an idea of what it would look like is when we start out, we're in the main room, which is a Zoom call. Up to 500 people can be on the call. We do a quick, who is Vets2Industry? We hop into our keynote speaker, and let me tell you, we have just been so lucky to have the creme de la creme of keynote speakers. And just if you want to hear incredible people, names that names that you should know, come on, check us out. It is really amazing. All of our events are free.
That makes it even better.
I tell you, I don't know about y'all, but that's one of my favorite words. It's free. And it's not even free 99. It's free.
It's free.
and I'll tell you, you get the keynote. We give them about 15 minutes. Then we do a 15-minute Q&A, and that's complete. We're reading questions from the chat box and asking them live. They're not pre-screen questions or anything else.
Right. It's very well run. I have to tell you, it really is.
And we thank you for that. we don't know what we're doing, but we're making it work somehow.
You guys are faking it like to make it, man. If you're faking it, then it's a good fake.
and
But
and
you
I
guys
tell
are
you,
doing an awesome job.
it we honestly tell people Vets2Industry is a family. We we might have never met. Like me and Brian have never met in
Mhm.
person. We've had plenty of phone calls and Zooms, but
Right.
that connection hasn't met. I'll tell you, he's my brother. We're that close. We're that connected. I understand him. He understands
Mhm.
me, and I'll tell you, uh, I've gotten so many wonderful brothers and sisters out of just volunteering and being a part of this, and we keep that family kind of fun atmosphere going on. And like you said,
Mhm.
we might joke with somebody
Mhm.
about, hey, look at the suit he's wearing because we got him out there. Hey, that's in our sweatshirts and our t-shirts and everything else.
Yeah.
And so we'll point out people who are wearing the different colors and have them back out. Uh, and it's meant to keep it lighthearted, keep it lively, and keep anybody from hearing the Bueller.
Yeah.
Bueller. And for those of y'all who don't understand, that's a movie from the 80s. Um, I might date myself a little bit, but just
It's
check it out.
very dry. That
You'll under,
his voice is very dry. That's not what this is, folks, at all.
but there's one thing that we always do at these events. We always have a happy hour. So at the end of it, we go an extra hour. And again, it's hop on, hop off. So there's no like extra requirement.
Right.
But this is when we kind of really break down and get a little bit more lighthearted.
And just getting to know people, just chatting it up and having a good time and just, I love that part. There are volunteer opportunities with Vets2Industry, correct?
Oh yes, we live on volunteers. None of this would happen without our incredible volunteers. And if you go to our website, vets the number 2 industry.com, and you'll see contact. And when you go to contact, it'll have volunteer. So when you go to volunteer, um, we have opportunities from human resources, operations, marketing, social media, event planning, logistics, business development, project managers. I'll tell you, if you can think of it, we probably need it. Uh, and one of the great things about us is we help our volunteers get hired. And so I like to call that the double-edged sword. Is our volunteers are so involved and their names are out there, and we promote them, we hype them up, we help them with all the resources that we have available, and we'll get them in this great position, and we'll be like, yeah, we got this dream team's in effect. And then we'll get that phone call of, hey, I was just offered a position and I accepted it. And we're like,
That's a
yay,
great thing, though. Yay.
boo,
Oh, boo.
yay, boo. And and so I tell you, we've had such success of getting our volunteers hired into just amazing positions with some of the great organizations, and we have to keep replacing them. And
Yeah.
I will tell you, the military, the veteran, the military spouse communities are full of so many people with huge hearts, all
Right.
kinds of experiences and knowledge. They drive it, and we always love bringing new volunteers in and getting that different perspective. That,
Right.
hey, I used to do this at X command or at X location. What do y'all think? And we're like, that's pretty cool. Let's figure out how we can
How
incorporate
can
that.
we do that? Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what we love about it is we listen to everybody that comes back in. This isn't one of like, this is how we've done it and we're going to always do it this way, because those are words I hate. I'm all about, hey, have you thought about it this way? I'm like,
Mm,
no,
different take.
that's a great way to look at it. And with volunteers kind of coming in and then leaving, and I'll be honest, our volunteers don't like leave. They go
Right.
from like a position where they have
But they
plenty of
still
time
they
to
stay
donate,
with they stay connected to vets to
and
industry.
they help out where they can, and
Yeah.
all of them are V2I ambassadors, which is they share our information, they help promote us. And again, we wouldn't get a single thing done if it was not for are volunteers.
Mhm.
I'm a volunteer. No one's on the payroll, but we make amazing things happen, and it's all because we want to help others. We want to pay it forward. We want to make that difference. Transition's rough. It could have negative effects on you, your family, and we don't want any of that. We've seen too many hardships. We're going to tell you about, you will do your VA disability claim. And oh, by the way, here's a VSO, and here's a lot of people to talk to, so you actually understand everything that's going to happen, and you
Right.
don't fall through the cracks.
And they're not speaking in a language you don't understand.
Right. And we help you. We help you transition your language, your resume. We help you get rid of those acronyms that you think are so cool that no one understands.
Right.
We have all that. Again, we have Hope White, Scott Rather, that if you want federal hiring, trust me, go through their workshops. You're going to have it. As you mentioned, Veterati, it is an awesome mentorship platform. It was built by veterans to assist, military veterans, spouses, and it's a free 1 hour phone call where you can do informational interviews. You can talk to someone like me. In Vets2Industry, I'm just going to say there's this thing called Veterati Rockstars for people who have 100 hours or more. Well, let's just
I think I met one of those during your event. I think you had one of those.
V2I has a lot of those on the roster, and so we're there giving our time even in a different platform.
Right.
But it's all about how we can help others, what we can do. And I'll tell you, check us out. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can find us on YouTube. So if you miss one of our events, I can't get you the breakout session information, but you can watch what we do in the main room.
Right. So which is a lot of fun. Bruce, thank you so much for being a part. For those of you that didn't know, now you know about Vets2Industry. Now you know why I wanted Bruce to be on Sisters in Service, because I think this is so important. And the more resources, the more people I can, get out there, and the people that don't know, now you know. Just saying. So Bruce, thank you so much for being a part. And for everyone else, please stay safe, take care of each other, and until next time.